Okay, I am here at Memorial Disc Golf Park in Frankenmuth, Michigan. One of my favorite places to be, quite honestly. This town, I get so busy, but I love it. I love it, especially around Christmas. But anyways, the disc golf course here. This place is one of the larger, longer courses in our area here in the Tri-Cities here in Michigan. It's kind of the known as the bomber course because a lot of wide open, long shots, deals with some really cool elevation. Um, doesn't get utilized a lot for tournaments, unfortunately, because I don't think the city cares for it much, or else they charge too much. There's some red tape there somewhere, but definitely a great place to come for leagues. Although sometimes things get a little interrupted. The city loves to use this park for a million other things. So usually when you come here, it's fine, but occasionally you'll run into a concert or a cross country meet or something like that. So just if you do come out here, be prepared to change plans, but the chances of that are honestly fairly slim. But anyways, let's go check this out. Okay, this is hole one. This par three is 277 feet. As you can see off the pad here, we're throwing into a hill. So you can see the tree that is just over the backside of the hill, and there's like that power pole there. You kind of want to throw something that's going to get a little bit of flex and then come back on the other side. There is a creek on the left side that you want to avoid. And you can see this tree got cut away. That was right in the way for the longest time. So you had to take like big hyzer shots. It was a much trickier shot, but it has been cleaned up since I guess since before last summer. But it's much easier now. Okay, really all you got to do is get over the hill and miss those branches, the branches is the tough part. That requires a little bit of luck. But I got a reactor. I'm going to put a little bit of ante on it, let the disc come back, hopefully towards the bucket. The pads are so nice here. They're big trapezoid shapes. They're super long. Okay, get under it. Hey, there we go. It's just missing those branches that's tricky. I think we did her. All right, landed inside the circle. A little bit of headwind here. Hey, there we go. First putt of the day. Count it. All right, this is hole two. Is about 450 feet. You can see there's a hill that you have to get over in the middle. Of course, the pad, unfortunately, is not level. It points down at the ground. So you're gonna have a tendency to throw downwards, but basically you just want to launch something hard over the hill if you can. And then as you get back there, you may be able to see this on camera. I'm gonna back away a little bit. There's this willow tree, but if you look well behind the willow tree over the hill, there's a couple of trees back there and the basket is literally set in that. So this is a get over the hill, take your upshot, make your putt. The three on this is not uncommon, but this can turn into a four if you mess up the upshot, honestly. And of course, as you can see, the crux of the public park, I have a family walking around right in the middle of the fairway. Okay, since this is kind of uphill, usually grab something a little flippy. So I've got an old Fission Photon. This thing is super flippy. So I'm gonna try and give it just a little bit of hyzer. Bugs are already out. This is crazy. And if I can get over the hill, that's just gravy. There we go. Push to the top. Bingo. Right where you need to be. All right. So this is the view on the other side of the hill. As you can see, like I said, there's a gully where it drops off and comes back up, basket straight back there. This has been cleaned up a little bit for the forehand on the left side. So I think I'm going to try a pyro. Just put her up and under for a putt. That'll do. Okay, got inside the circle. Ideally, you'd want to be on the backside of this tree, but this is still not a bad putt at all. I'll take it. It's the uphill putts. I usually do that. Okay, this is hole 3. It's about 215 feet. You can see the basket straight ahead. Here's where the wind becomes a problem. You're up at the top of the hills. It's a wide open parking lot right behind us. So you're going to have some problems with the wind. Plus, it has 3 really good guardian trees. So typically the play for me, anyways, is a forehand out to the left. Let it come towards the basket. Because when you backhand, typically, I'll get a roll away down the hill. So, I mean, play it at your own risk, whichever way you choose. Okay, I'm going to forehand a pyro. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so there's now a tree planted right by the basket. That's interesting. New. There. Stay in the bucket. Okay, hole 4, 340 feet. You can see we're on the side of a hill here. The baskets are on the back side of those trees. So you got to go out around, and then in the gully behind there is where there's a little bit of washout, but there's like the baskets right down there too. So you just need something that's going to go on a hyzer. There are some folks that take a forehand line, but that is way sketchier over here on the left-hand side. Okay, got a Tesla. I'm going to try and rip this out there and let the wind push it towards the basket because it's coming across. Oh, and I put it up way too high. Way too high. However, that is probably right under the basket, would be my guess, or at least close. Okay, it was definitely parked. Defo. There we go. All right, this is hole 5. It says it's about 189 feet on U-disc, but it plays a lot more than that. You can't really tell the elevation when you're looking on U-disc, but you can see this goes up quite a bit and the basket is stuck up there in that grove of trees up top. So you want to throw something that's going to go up and hyzer in because the straight at it shot doesn't work very well here. Okay, I've got a resistor. Unfortunately, this is going to be throwing into the shadow, so it might be a little bit hard to track the shot, but here we go. I usually just put this up on a hyzer outside, let it go towards the bucket. Oh, you know what? That skipped onto the path up there. That might be something I can hit. Okay. Put my towel up here because I think I have to take a knee on this putt. Because it's going downhill and there's headwind. So it's really tricky. Just nice and easy. There we go. Stay in. There we go. Whew. Man, that is a touchy one. All that wind comes screaming through here on these higher up places here on the course. Okay, this is hole 6, par 3. It's about 260 feet, and you are on a hyzer about the entire time. You can see if you look way down there, you're going to follow this line of brush. The basket is tucked inside of there. So that last big tree that you can kind of see the branches of, you need to be hyzering it underneath that. There is some flat pan ground, like that is packed, and it is sandy, so you can get some skips off of there. And if you go a little bit too hard at it, you're going to skip off an edge and you're really going to have a bad putt. So control it. Okay, I'm going to try tempo. This just needs to come in under the branches. I don't know if this has the bite that we need. We're going to try it. Okay, wind's pushing a lot. I don't know. Could be okay. All right, so tempo landed about 25 out, maybe 20, and it's uphill into a headwind right now, so it's not a great recipe. So I got a more stable putter. Stay in. There we go. Woo-wee. All right, this is hole 7. It is about almost 400 feet. I believe it's like 390. So, God, the bugs that are out now is crazy. This is so quick. So you might be able to see the basket way up there on the hill inside that little grove of trees. The biggest tree that you see, you'll see it just immediately to the left of it. So this is a pump. It doesn't play like 400. It plays a little bit longer than that. So you want to take something that's, you know, your best distance driver that's not going to completely fade out over here. You want to give something a little bit flippy and just try to get as far up the hill as you can. Your approach is a little bit tricky because behind it, there's a sidewalk, and on the other side of that sidewalk is OB. So just make sure that you're not, if you got the arm for it, you're not sending it up and over. Okay, got a flippy octane. Let's see if we can't put her as close as possible. Okay, if you can get her on the back side of the hill too, it's a little bit clearer of an upshot, which is right where I got to. It's a pretty good pump. I'm okay with that. Okay, once again, we're back up into the wind. I think I put this maybe 60 feet out. So a good jumper. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Climbing up and down these hills is not as easy this early in the season. I'm still a little out of shape from the winter. So I'm just gonna try and jump this up there. Oh, go in. Okay. I'm okay with that. This hole is very rarely two'd by me. All right. Best kind of putt to have to make in the wind is about 3 feet away. Woo! All right, this is hole 8. It's about 235 feet approximately. You can see we are downhill from it. You have to go up the hill. There's a grove of trees. The basket sits in the center of that. So it plays a little bit further. You're going to have to really give something a bit of a smash to get up the hill and get cut in there. So I usually go with a forehand because the left side is clear and it just like is able to hyzer in there. So it's a little tricky, but it can be done. Okay, I'm going to try this with the proton resistor. And the wind is pushing across, kind of. So I'm going to try to give it a little bit more room to work. This wind is whipping today. I didn't think it was going to be this windy. All right, she's got a little bit of height, which, okay, she clipped a branch. Well, should be okay. We're in the circle, I'm sure. Okay, kind of landed in a weird spot right behind a tree. Wind is coming uphill. It's blowing up the hill, and it's kind of pushing discs up a little bit. And here comes the wind again. So there we go. Woo! Nervy putt. Okay, this is hole 9. It's about 360 feet. You can see we have a series of hills, and we're teeing off from below that. So you do have a little bit of elevation to deal with. And there's this row of trees. There's 2 rows of trees up over the hill. The basket is at the end of the first row of trees, the most, outside row of trees. And you got to be careful because on the other side of this 2 rows of trees, there's a playground. There's little kids. So you do have to be careful. That's why the trees are there, I'm sure. All right, so the wind is straight at me right now. So I'm going to go stable, really stable, overstable. I've got a really beefy octane. Basically, you just want to swing this out and let it hyzer back in. But the wind is going to have something to say about that, I'm sure. Okay. Stalled out for sure. Didn't see it come down, but it hit the trees and trinkled. So we'll go check it out. All right, so that was kind of wild, actually. It was about 20 feet up in this tree, but pretty much right inside the bullseye. So we don't play no 2-meter rule here. Stabled up on the putter a little bit because this wind is whipping up the hills again. There we go. That's a good 2 to get.